Hello everyone, welcome here. HTTP request. What is HTTP request and why we require to use in RESTful Web API? Let's see. REST API model, basically it will show you like this. Once we are creating REST API in this middle part, in the left side you may observe JSON data or JSON objects are in get method, post method, put method or delete. So it may be consumed these services by using either mobile app or web application, websites or desktop client, anyone which can be used and consuming these services and use it to get the required services from the server. These REST API services are going to be interacting with the application server or database server. Get the something information and exchanging based on the request from the mobile or web or desktop client which the services are consumed. These services are going to be getting from the server and serve based on the request which the API is implemented. Accordingly, the same scenario you are going to learning in this particular course. First of all, web services basically are created with CRUD operations, creating, reading, update, delete. These operations are using REST API consumed in, like by making HTTP of get, post, put or delete methods. The API is implemented in a way of a return response in JSON or XML or any other format which you request. HTTP methods basically defined we have seen here. See, HTTP method is post. The CRUD operation we can call it as create for the purpose of creating a records or adding a data or inserting the data into a database table. We'll use for post method. And the collection resources example users. If it is a multiple, we can call it as oblique users where the URL once we've written. So 201, once you seen the message like a response code, the location header with the link to users and like a ID containing UID. And a single resource like example users and oblique, there is a ID for the user is required here. Why? To avoiding post and a single resource, we need to get not group of records. A single record when we are interacting with that, such service we need to implement and we need to pass the unique user ID or record ID. How we are filtering in the data, same way we need to pass along with the request URL. This is the basic request like how we can prepare the queries and all we'll see in the MySQL sessions are there. We have prepared what the required of basic things. So we'll go. And get method to reading the records. Get method will use for to fetch or getting the data from the database. If you are seeing the 200 as an like a response code means it is a successful list of users. Use pagination, sorting and filters navigation to the list to be present at the client side. And a single record we need to pass ID for getting records. 200 is okay for the code for response code. Single user or 4 not if you found any level of code. The ID is not found or invalid ID or the no records are found from the database. And put method, this will be used for either updating the record or replacing the record or modifying the record. Something like I can explain you like spellings of the name record inserted and spelling mistakes or address mistakes, phone number mistakes, maybe to be correct this data. Or if it is there any like unfilled columns are there, we can use the put method, updating the record or modifying the record. So 405 method not allowed unless you want to update every resources in the entire collection of the resources. If you wish to a particular record you want to update, you will see either 200 is an okay for the code or 204 for no content. Means you are passing some ID to update a unique record where the ID is not found, record is not found. So once you know the successful codes and unsuccessful codes, then you will be very clearly understand what you are writing a program or implementing the services. That's really great. While testing of Postman API, you will be seeing very clearly these error codes and successful codes. And patch is a HTTP method for API will use for implement and partial update or modify. 405, unless you want to modify the collection of information. Most cases we won't go with the patches and put methods used for multiple records. Very less time. We'll use for unique records to maintain put method and patch. So 200 is okay to passing how we are going to be updating and filtering our records using unique ID or unique user ID. According to the service, we'll use the same unique identity to pass the single ID for to update a record from the database. And delete method. The last one is delete method. So CRUD operations also it's a delete. So for not file, most of the cases we can't use for multiple group of records. So if you wish to continue, yes, based on the ID or category, you can delete. And the single resources, example, we have to send for an ID or a unique identity, which record we want to perform to delete. So 200 is okay once the record is deleted as a response code you will receive. 404 not found, or if ID is like invalid or something is mismatching. So according to once the differentiation between HTTP method and CRUD operations, what we are going to using, if you once understood about the response codes and error codes, then where you are writing mistakes or errors on your service implementation, that would be very fine you to understand a great level of RESTful API service development. These all are very, very important in your interview questions. What are the methods are going to be used? What are the responsive codes? Can be possible to collection of resources of multiple records or single record? How the possibilities and error codes of 200 is okay, and 405 error methods. These all are very, very important in your interview questions. At any level, this table you may get a query. I wish you good luck. I'll catch you in the next lecture.